Good morning. So welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Cindy. I'm from New Hampshire, and I am doing morning live to just kind of share the weather in New Hampshire for all my friends. You know, I have friends that are all over the world, kind of. All over the kind of more the country, and just to kind of let you know how the weather is. It is 55 in New Hampshire, and you can see out my window. I started this in the fall one year because I wanted to share, you know, the progression of the fall leaves. And so I've been doing it kind of on my way to school. It's easy to just, you know, press the button, go live, and discuss, you know, just kind of my morning chat. Tesla alert. And we just went by our local gas station on the corner, and we're headed on to the highway. So I have a pretty much straight, straight drive. It's not a lot of traffic, not a lot of turns. I'm turning now because I'm onto the highway, but I kind of go straight down and not too much traffic. This road used to have a lot of, I think that's our trash truck, used to have a lot of construction, but they're pretty much done now. So today is trash day, so that's really interesting that the trash truck just went by, because I was actually thinking about talking trash today. How is the trash situation where you live? You know, how are things where you live about trash? When I first moved to this town, it was 25 years ago maybe, and I lose track of time. Time seems to go by so fast. So anyway, when we first moved here, the trash for the town was, you know, it was included in your taxes. So we just put our trash out on the road, and the trash truck would take our trash. And then it became, you know, you can only do so many bags. Then we got to the point where they voted for us to have certain bags that you would buy, and they were like $2 and something per bag, and you had to put your trash out in those bags. Can you imagine? I had 13 children, and I had to pay $2 per trash bag. It was insane. And they would limit you on how many trash bags you could put out. I don't know. I don't really remember all the details, but it was a nightmare, I'll tell you that. So when the kids were really little, it was excellent. I could put anything on the road, they would pick it up. And I could do clean outs, they would pick it up. And then we went to the pay by the bag plan. Everybody hated that because the bags were like very, very thin. And when you put your stuff in it, if you tried to use it for a trash bag in your house, it would rip. It was way too thin. It wasn't a hefty bag. It was just a really thin bag. So I told my friends, I'm like, you know, it's just an outfit. You put the outfit on your trash. You have to use regular trash bags. These bags go over your regular trash bags, and then you put it out just to show you paid your trash tax. And that was a nightmare. Then our town voted against all trash going into being paid for by the taxes. So now we hire our own trash pickup person. And these people pick up the trash, and I pay a certain amount per month, and they pick up my trash. And it can't be, if it's anything big like a couch or some kind of big item, you have to pay extra. And they have your email, they have your card number, so they'll send you an email and ask you to pay the invoice. Like, you know, usually you communicate with each other. They have picked up a few big bulk items for me. It just makes it easier. We transfer the station, like, you know, kitchen garbage. And there's a trash truck in front of me, Liberty Disposal. So we have a lot of privatized trash companies, and they have come, it's big business. It's a good family business, I guess. I don't know where they take the trash, but we have regular trash pickup, and we also have a transfer station where you can bring larger items. You can get rid of anything metal for free, and we have some bigger items in our yard. It makes it really hard because things pile up, and you don't want to go every week, so you let things pile up, and then you go one special time. And my son, a couple weeks ago, he piled up his truck, went to the dump finally, and wouldn't you know, the dump was closed. Well, transfer station was closed due to upgrades. So he brought everything home, and now it's in my yard again. So trash is a big problem right now. I know it is in other countries. A few years ago, in 2019, I went to Jamaica with the seniors from our school, and they actually had rules that you're not allowed to use plastic grocery bags. You're supposed to bring your own bags to the stores, which was interesting because we were just visiting. And they also had a lot of trash thrown around the communities, and so I guess they have to either pick it up yourself or it just sits there because they don't pay people to clean it up. So that's we went up to this orphanage that was way at the top of a mountain, and all around the edges of the road, which was a one-lane road, which was winding around the mountain, which was very scary. There was trash all around the sides of the road. So trash is becoming a big problem. Another issue is we're not supposed to burn trash. So I remember when I was a little kid, my grandfather had a big barrel, and he would burn all of the trash in the barrel at the end of the day, and he would do that every day. So he didn't have a lot of trash. But nowadays, it just piles up and piles up and piles up. So we're talking trash today on my channel. Hello, how are you? Thank you for coming to my channel. Thank you for the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all my friends tuning in. I'm headed to school today, and this is our first week back to school. And I'm driving, and it's a straight road all the way down, not a lot of turns. Usually there's not a lot of traffic. I'm a few minutes later than I was yesterday. I want to leave my house at about 7 a.m. because I like to get to school when it's not a rush. I can get to school, set my stuff out, and not be rushing, trying to catch up. But I have a first hour class, and then I have a break time. So I have time to regroup for the rest of the day. And so I do also have a tutoring business, and I tutor math. So last night I tutored geometry, and she has a test today, so I'm going to be praying for that. She does well on her test. And so this is tutoring, just helping. The student has her own curriculum, and I'm just kind of there to support, to give tips. And it's kind of hard. It's on the spot, I don't have the teacher's book, so I have to just, ask questions. And sometimes you read into questions. You're not sure if it's, if I'm reading into it, or if I just take the easy answer, or maybe the answer is a little more difficult. So it's a challenge. This is my first time after many years. I've taught geometry, but I have my own book, and this is a new book for me. So it's a personal challenge, and I'm really thankful for the opportunity. Thank you for coming to my channel. Thank you for the thumbs up. I also have a Algebra 1 student who, that one, I'm the curriculum person. So I I picked they kind of picked the curriculum, but I'm familiar with it. We're going through it. We use Canvas slides. I will do my own evaluations, and I like it. I can work through other companies, but this is good because I can be my own boss kind of thing, you know. And if we have a day where we can't meet up, we can work on switching the day, the time, whatever it may be. So it's been a good situation. I love tutoring. I would like at least 1 or 2 more students, depending on what their needs are. I have 1 student for 2 days a week, 1 student for 3 days a week. I wouldn't mind a couple students 1 day a week, or maybe 1 student 2 or 3 days a week. It's a good experience, and I really like one-on-one. I feel like the students have a great opportunity to improve in their skills. Being one-on-one is very rewarding for both of us, I think, and very enjoyable. Being in large classes is a challenge nowadays, because especially when kids come from other schools, because you don't know how much they know. They just jump into a class, you don't know. Do they know fractions? Do they know how to divide? You know, here they are, 9th grade. I don't even know if they know how to do fractions, or do they know how to do decimals, percents, all the things that we've been working on for years. So it's a challenge, and we need more of it. We need more teachers tutoring, because these students need extra help. They're not getting the help they need in the classrooms. I mean, some people are self-motivated and they do the work no matter what's going on around them. But there are a lot of students who are just not understanding what they're missing. You know, they just go to school, they like to participate with the community, but they don't really get the amount of learning that they need. So this is where tutoring comes in, and parents that are in tune to this situation. And I really appreciate parents that take charge of their own children's education. There's so many different ways to educate your children nowadays. You can, in New Hampshire, we have Virtual Learning Academy. This is an online school, and it is actually no cost to those who use it. And the kids in New Hampshire can just sign in and take any courses they want. You can do an entire high school through Virtual Learning Academy if you want. And then there's also dual enrollment. So if you're a student who does well in their, they're self-motivated, they can actually sign up for college classes during high school, and this is paid for by the state. You know, I mean, because the state has tons of money, you know that. The state has tons of money, and all we have to do is look. Well, not really. We are the state, but these are programs in New Hampshire. Virtual Learning Academy, kids can go to school. Like, say your kid is sick, you know, and they can't go to school. You can do Virtual Learning Academy. If you want to homeschool, you can do it as well. They have all kinds of courses. I was just looking at it yesterday, where you can do art classes, photography classes, any kind of extracurricular types of things that you like, you can do as a high schooler. And so there are great classes there. Now, this started, when it first started, I was really skeptical of it. My son found it, and I actually told him no at first, because I was like, I think this is just a scam, you know. And this was my older boy who went into the Army. I thought it was a scam. I didn't understand it, and the more, it's still stuck around. It's been around for probably about 15 years now, and it's been working. Some kids have gone straight Virtual Learning Academy, and they graduate from their curriculum. Some people use it for 1 or 2 classes. One of my kids used it for dual enrollment, and she was able to get like a whole year of college over and save money, save time, and all that. And some of the kids at the Christian school, they also use it to supplement because the Christian school doesn't offer everything. So it's a great program. And then in New Hampshire, you have all kinds of curriculums that you can take part in. And we have a school where everybody meets up at the school, and we have core classes that everybody takes for each grade. And I teach Algebra 1 and I teach Geometry. And we also have some extra classes. Like this year they're offering outdoor adventures. And on Mondays they're going to do some extra like field trips, like hikes and stuff. And so outdoor adventures is one. Then there's also a culinary class, which is really cool because we have some amazing cooks in our school that are teachers and participate in the church. Great opportunity for them. And then there's also art and art teachers. So they're going to all like be broken up into different classes, and then they're each going to take one of those and maybe switch along the way somewhere. So, we offer a few different things. Now, down through the years, I've worked at Christian schools where I have taught cooking. I did bread making class, which was really fun. And I also did sewing, where we made aprons. From start to finish, we made patchwork aprons. They were really fun. And so I had sewing machines for every kid, and we just sewed. So, it's fun because you can do these opportunities. We also I actually taught PE one year to the girls because nobody else could do it. So I loved it. I loved teaching PE. I loved teaching home ec. Home ec was really fun because I went in that first year after homeschooling forever, and I taught first, second, third grade combination class as well as home ec in the afternoon to the high school. And that was the year that we taught bread making. So we taught how to mix the bread dough. And then after that, we taught everything you could make out of bread dough. We made pretzels, biscuits, rolls, cinnamon bread. We made a cornucopia, which I have a video of on this channel, where we put the cornucopias together for Thanksgiving. We made fried dough. Everybody in the school wanted fried dough. And it was really good. Donuts. So, yeah. We had a parent complain about that the girls were going to get fat. And I said, well, they're not making it to eat only for themselves. They're making it to have a skill so they can cook for others. And I think it went really well. We also made pie crust. And we made pizza dough. We made pizzas for a lady who had a new baby, and pizza for a meal. So, possibilities. Right now in my life, I'm just kind of, I'm kind of a little worn out, like I really kind of want to do more, but yet I'm enjoying being able to just kind of not do more. This summer I did some taking a break, and I did some crocheting, which helps me to kind of sit and take it easy a little bit, but it also keeps me productive. So I have about 50 dishcloths to put into the craft fair I think it's usually in November. And then I have some projects to put into the fair coming up at the end of the month. So, now school is starting, and I was asked yesterday, bring in your sewing kit, because I have a little thing I have to sew up for a friend of mine. So I was like, sure, I'd love to do that. So here to say hello, and thank you so much for coming to my car chat. I really appreciate it. The weather is, right now, it's gone up to 62, and it's a little bit of a sunny glare. I had to put my visor down a little bit, and this is the corner where the glare happens. I have to kind of put my visor down and be careful going around this corner, and it depends on what time of day it is to how the glare goes. And we're on our way to school, and I love this part of the road. It's a beautiful section. It's built up, and it's new within the last 20 years or so, going from northern New Hampshire to southern New Hampshire and up to Massachusetts. But I will be taking the exit before I get to Massachusetts, of course, because I am in New Hampshire. My job is in New Hampshire. So thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you all to those of you who watch live, and as well as those who watch on the replay. Thank you. Thumbs up. I really appreciate it. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.